City TV Sports, this is exciting. Bennett Oliver, I'm Jonathan Monk. Who do we have down on the field for all the sideline reports?
Our sideline reporter tonight will be none other than Fred Perry.
Fred Perry, isn't he like a human resources guy?
He is the human resources director for the city of Douglasville.
But he's a great football fan too, and these are two great teams.
They are. Douglas County 1-2 for the season, coming off an upset win over Warner Robins at Warner Robins. Chapel Hill, they're 0-3 so far this year, but this is the first big test for them. It's a sub-region game, county rival, Douglas County, so they can certainly turn their season around here tonight.
And has Chapel Hill ever won against Douglas County Tigers here?
They have never won, period, as far as varsity team. So Douglas County still undefeated against Chapel Hill.
Well, we're looking forward to a great game. It's the Tigers. They're at home. They're against the Panthers. You got two teams itching for their first regional win.
Should be interesting.
Okay. So this is the first broadcast on City TV. Bennett Oliver and I'm Jonathan Monk, and we can't be more excited to be here on a hot, muggy Friday night.
Looks like a great night for football here in Douglas County. This is Douglas County's home opener. They've been on the road for 3 weeks. They're 1-2 on the season, so I'm sure they're ready to get home in front of this crowd tonight.
And we've got a Chapel Hill team that's 0-3, Bennett, and they got something to prove tonight. This is a big deal for them.
They do. They've played some tough competition already this year. The games were not easy, but certainly this is a tough game for them. Chapel Hill, they've never beat the varsity team here from Douglas County, and certainly playing at Tiger Stadium, it'll be a tough challenge for them here tonight.
I watched some of the players come out a little earlier, and they just had, I think, the quarterbacks and the receivers out on the field, and I said, man, this is a real small Chapel Hill team. And then out of the old gym here at Tiger Stadium come the big boys running out, and I thought, this is going to be a pretty good matchup.
Oh, yeah, that's the way they do it. They bring out the quarterbacks and receivers to kind of bluff the opposing team, and then the big guys come out, and then it's game on. So.
Yeah, I would say that I think it's probably evenly matched as far as size is concerned. Two different types of teams that are playing here today. Douglas County, the Tigers actually like to work out of an I formation a little bit more.
They do. I talked with Coach Charles Thomas a little bit this week, and obviously they want to establish the running game. They really want to get back to the smash mouth football that they've played in the past. I anticipate them really trying to establish the run early and keep grinding it out. They've got a great running back. He's averaging 100 yards each game so far this season, and they'll certainly try to get that number for him tonight. So
that could be 1,000 yards in the season if he keeps up all of that. But you've got big, beefy guys on the line here for Douglas County and the Tigers.
Absolutely. It's anchored, of course, by the center. He weighs about 280 pounds. The offensive line here at Douglas County, they actually average 260 pounds, so it's a really big offensive line. And, of course, on the other side of the ball, defensively, they pretty much rely on their speed to make the plays. They've got some big guys up front, but it's really the speed of the defensive backs and the linebacking core that really puts a stop to people.
And when you talk about a line that averages 260, that's the average. So think about how big those boys are up front. And the thing about this team right here, the Tigers, is that there's speed that goes along with the pounds. So, when you're a running team, you got to have a pulling guard, so you've got some speed there as well.
Sure. Douglas County's led by a senior quarterback and a senior running back, so that's what they'll rely on tonight. They do go out of the I backfield. Sometimes they actually go into the spread offense. And looks like we're getting set to go here at Tiger Stadium as the Douglas County Tigers come on the field.
It's loud and it's proud, and this is one of those games that matches up two teams that need a win tonight.
They do. It would be a huge win for Chapel Hill, obviously, to come into Douglas County's home and knock them off since they've never beat them. But both of these teams are in the same region. They play 4A classification They're in the 5A region, sub-region, I should say. So, even though they've had struggles early in the season, I think tonight they'll have a good chance to start all over with a win here tonight.
And some of the players that you might be looking for tonight, Brandon Penniman, as you talked about that a little bit earlier, 100 yards a game. So he's a key player. If Chapel Hill can stop Brendan out on the field today, they have a really good shot of just holding this game to a very close one.
Oh, I think so. I think they'll try to establish early, and they'll stick with their game plan. I don't see them opening it up into some type of five receiver type offense to try to get the advantage. I think they know what they're going to do, and I think they'll stick to their guns till it works.
For Chapel Hill, you've got quarterback Deshaun Abercrombie, and number one is ready to be number one tonight. He likes to throw a lot. He's a good running quarterback as well, so it's going to be a danger for the Tigers to look at a quarterback that can do both.
Yeah, Chapel Hill, Coach Parker's been there for 3 seasons now. This is his 3rd year. They've made the playoff the last 2 years, so he definitely has these kids playing fundamental football. They do have some athletes. They do have some size and speed. So we look forward to a great game as we're fixing to kick it off here.
You got a 1-2 team in the DC Tigers, and for Chapel Hill, they're 0-3. The Panthers need a win tonight, so they're looking for toward a tough DC team. And they're getting a pretty good run back on the kickoff here. Bennett down to about the 28-yard line goes number 10. I actually don't have the listing on number 10. He must be one of those ringers.
Yeah, he probably somebody they brought in just for this game here tonight. But looks like Douglas County won the toss, but they decided to kick off, and so they'll receive in the second half. And so it was about a 25-yard kick, and it looks like the Chapel Hill Panthers will set up 1st and 10 from about the 27-yard line.
Quarterback Deshaun Abercrombie back for Chapel Hill, and the Panthers taking the snap from the 28-yard line and run up the middle. That'll gain them about half a yard.
Yeah, they actually came out in a no-back offense. They had 4 wide receivers, so that's kind of the spread offense that many people are running these days, and Chapel Hill's trying to take advantage of it.
A couple of running backs that you might want to look for when it comes to the Chapel Hill Panthers. Number 33, pretty good game going on for number 33. He's ready for it. Malachi Evans. He's set back right now behind Abercrombie, but he's going to get out to block for number 25, Derek Parker, who picks up a couple off the left side.
Yeah, it's going to bring up 3rd down. It looks like Douglas County's speed on defense is definitely containing the Chapel Hill offense at this time.
Out to the 35-yard line right now, so they're moving the ball a little bit. 3rd down, and I'd say probably about 3 yards for the Panthers to go. Are we going to see mostly a running game from the Panthers as well?
I think they do a little bit of both. The quarterback, he certainly can throw the ball. I would look for him to try to establish the running game here early, just as Douglas County will also.
Abercrombie up the middle to number 33, and number 33, Malachi Evans.
That's going to be enough for a first down. Yep.
Yeah, that looked close there for a second, but he had enough.
Looks like they'll spot the ball at the 38-yard line. Be 1st and 10 for the Panthers.
Looks like the Panthers like the left side, and they've been going up the middle a little bit. They haven't tried the right side yet, so if I were a betting guy, and I'm not, I'd bet that they're gonna throw something over there to the right-hand side.
They'll probably pick something up in film, I'm sure, during the week, and maybe see a weakness. But they're still going to that side. So, but Douglas
Malachi
County
gets nothing on that.
He absolutely just smashed them that time. Looks like a 1-yard gain, maybe. That'll bring up probably 2nd and 9. It is a very steamy night here at Tiger Stadium. It's probably about 15 degrees warmer than it has been during the week. So I anticipate, hope not, but I anticipate seeing some cramping problems. Maybe they'll stay hydrated, certainly.
You would hope so. I see Brandon Bostic, who usually plays defensive end, up over the middle. So I don't know if that's a last-minute change for the Tigers.
That's a big hit.
Right side of the field. That's why they didn't do the right side of the field.
There you go. Chapel Hill tried a little toss sweep. Douglas County had some penetration in the backfield and ended up with a 4-yard loss. So it's going to bring up probably 3rd and 13.
Yeah, and Cortez Walker had no place to go on that play at all. That was a stone wall right there.
So we'll see what their passing game has in store here.
Well, this is what I was talking about a little bit earlier. In trouble, Deshaun Abercrombie pulls it up to the left side. He was in the pocket, chased down by the Tigers, and they ran him out.
Yep,
great. A 4th down.
Great rush there by the defensive line. They had a linebacker blitz, it looked like, and flushed him out of the pocket, and they brought him down. So it's going to bring up 4th and 12, and Chapel Hill will be punting.
And back is Shea Seeley. They call him Sparkles, and I think we're going to see why they call him Sparkles.
Well, we hope. He plays both ways, and talked to his mom before the game, and so we'll see if he can do some sparkles here.
And there's Shea. He takes the ball. He's going to try it right up the middle, and he's got a hole.
He's got a hole.
And he's got about 15 yards on the run.
It's like about a 40-yard punt, a 15-yard return, and Douglas County will set up their first offensive stand at their own 47-yard line.
Well, that was exciting.
It was.
I know why they call them Sparkles.
That's a good punt.
It was a good
from
punt.
Chapel Hill.
It looked like good coverage by Chapel Hill, but Seeley found the seam, went right up the middle. It looked like he wanted to go to the left side of the field and then hesitated, came back in through the middle, and got 15 yards on that one. So we're sitting at Chapel Hill's 49-yard line.
Well, we have to keep an eye on, of course, the running back for Douglas County. That would be Brandon Penniman, number 18. He's been the workhorse, as we've said, all year long, averaging over 100 yards a game. Just straight up the middle for a 3-yard gain, so we'll keep an eye on him.
And that was Brandon up the middle, the handoff from Devin Randall, and a gain of about 2.25 yards. He eked out a little bit. He's a tough runner, man. He'll get up underneath that pile and he'll squiggle until he can get a couple more inches.
Yeah, we'll probably see a lot of him tonight. Anchoring the offensive line is Darius Anderson. His nickname is Biscuit, and I can certainly see why. I think he helps that 260-pound average quite a bit.
That was Barker with a carry, and boy, he's got a lot of power. It looked like he was set up to block. It looks like the refs are going to call it just a couple shy of a first down. It's 3rd and about 2.
2 plays, 2 runs right up the middle off the right guard. So just as we anticipated, they're going to stick with the running game, smash mouth football, and see if they continue here.
Brandon set back, Barker out to block, and it's an option play. And Devin Randall will be stopped at the line, pretty much at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, the defensive end came up and caught him before he could pitch the ball, and the quarterback kept it and gained about a yard, I guess. It's going to bring up 4th and 2, and I wouldn't be surprised here if Douglas County didn't go for it. But they're on their own 40-yard line.
Right.
Early in the game.
Give it a shot. Why not? Still could have decent field position. It looks like they are going for it because they're sending out Devin Randall, the quarterback. So they're setting it up. They're in the I formation right now. Barker up front, Brandon Penniman behind, and they're going up the middle with Barker, and it's a first down.
Yep, straight up the middle with a fullback, kind of a decoy with the number 18. Looks like he gained about 7 yards. It's going to get it down to Douglas County's, looks like the 35, 36-yard line. Be first down, Douglas County.
And it looked like, the Chapel Hill Panthers actually had these guys on the ropes there for a second or two where, they held the line. It was 3rd and 2, but like you said at the beginning of the game, it's smash mouth, and they're just playing their game.
Big offensive line for Douglas County, obviously. A powerful running back. It looks like the quarterback here is going to go back into a shotgun formation with 4 wide receivers.
And they're going down the field. Look for Antonio Glover on the right-hand side. It's not going to be Glover.
Oh.
It's going to be a pass to Shea, Mr. Sparkles Seeley, and didn't quite get a hold of that one.
Yeah, 2 receivers, obviously a mix-up as far as routes. They ended up
too close together.
Yeah, within 2 yards of each other. I think both of them actually may have touched the ball. So, yeah, maybe a miscommunication there, but The good news for Douglas County, they were both open, so I'm sure they'll come back to that play later in the game.
Well, and it certainly looked like Devin was looking for Sparkles out on the field when he probably had the option if they split those wide receivers a little bit more.
Right up the middle with Brandon Penniman once again. Tough going for him. It looks like he picked up maybe 3 to 4 yards, and that's going to bring up a 3rd and 7 for the Douglas County Tigers.
Well, certainly a passing situation, so we'll see what happens with this.
Well, we've seen the spread offense a couple of times already. Looks like we have an illegal motion here on Douglas County, so that's going to back them up 5 yards.
So sending Devin Randall back in at quarterback. Number 11, Stacy Williams, is in. He's another wide receiver, so obviously, we're looking at a pass.
Probably a spread offense here. 4 receivers going out for the quarterback.
Right. Sparkles is right behind him, but notice the distance between the two. They're split a little bit further apart right now.
Right.
I'd say he's probably going to be looking for Antonio Glover down the field. He likes that right side of the field. No, up the middle with Shea.
Yep, little post pattern to Shea, and it was overthrown. So that's going to bring up a 3rd and 14 for the Douglas County Tigers.
They really have a handle on the running game, and, like you said, they had a plan to come out and do that, so maybe they should readjust and go back to that for now.
Well, of course, the penalty didn't help them any. It put them in a 3rd and 14 situation, and, at that point, you kind of have to get away from that up the middle run to pick up that yardage. So
Bennett, you can do old school, Bennett. You can do a draw play. Come on now.
Yeah, well.
That's old school smash mouth football. You get the man with a draw. You've got a guy who's getting 100 yards a game. Even though they're keying in on him tonight, why not go with that?
Oh, yeah.
He's your bread and butter.
Yep. Looks like Coach John Oglesby has taken a timeout. Looks like he's having a little conversation with the offensive team on the sideline. So first time out of the game, we'll go to Douglas County. And we have about 5 minutes and 19 seconds to go
Ball's
in
on
the first quarter.
40-yard line. So they've been moving the ball pretty well. They just have to get it into the red zone and into scoring position.
Looks like a big crowd here tonight for the Douglas County Tigers. Actually,
I'm kind of impressed with Chapel Hill's crowd, too. It looked a little light at the beginning.
They did.
It filled up pretty well.
They filled it up.
Well, you got some rivals, and there are schools that are about 10 miles apart.
Yep, Chapel Hill was built in 2000 here in Douglas County, and they started out with sophomores and built their program up, and of course now they've been there for 10 years.
Well, Devin Randall looks like he's going back in the shotgun, and it is going to be a pass.
Yeah, huge rush that time.
Panthers are right on it. There's a flag that was thrown.
I think it was a fumble on the play, actually. The quarterback kind of dropped the ball at the last minute, and it looks like Chapel Hill has recovered.
That's right. And we got number 4 on the recovery. That's DeAndre Fisher for the Panthers. Puts them in a good position, too. Pretty close to the 50-yard line. They're at their own 46.
Yeah, it looked like a passing play for Douglas County. The quarterback was kind of flushed out, kind of got in some traffic, had the ball in one hand. Looks like Chapel Hill knocked it out. Of course, they recovered it, so it'll be a first down for Chapel Hill in great field position.
Ball is on the 48-yard line. Chapel Hill, Panthers 48. Quarterback's Antonio Glover now, even though he is accustomed to playing wide receiver. Oh, I'm sorry.
There's a fumble.
Fumble on number 20. That's Davian Harris, and he just couldn't get a handle on the ball.
Looked like the exchange from the quarterback on just a basic sweep to the right side. Little miscommunications with the handoff, and Chapel Hill actually did get the ball back. But there is a flag on the play, so let's see what we got here from the officials.
I think that was just plain old nerves. that was just slipping out of the hand. I'm near the 50-yard line. We just got good field position, and he could see daylight toward the end. I thought he saw a little daylight around the corner, and I think his brain was just thinking before he got the ball and said, man, if I can just get around that corner, I'm going in for a score.
Just forgot one main thing, and that's the football.
Yeah, that's a pretty important thing.
Looks like it's going to be about 2nd and 13 for Chapel Hill. Got one back in the backfield. Got 3 receivers. Guy in motion. Quarterback's going to drop back. And
that was a fake, actually. Faked me out.
Yep. Incomplete pass to number 12 down the right sideline.
A.J. Liddell. And it really wasn't a miss. It was just a bad throw.
Looks like he was out of bounds a little bit, so that'll bring up 3rd down and 14 for the Chapel Hill Panthers.
I think if they stay with a sweep out to the right side, if they can hang on to the ball, they might see a little bit of a weakness there, and it seems like they want to go to the right side of the field. They
do. They've gone the right side 4 times now. They haven't come toward us. We're in the press box here on the left side on the Douglas County sideline, so obviously that's something they picked up in film also.
Malachi Evans back. Deshaun Abercrombie, the quarterback. And over to the right side again.
Oh, looks like a ball thrown directly into the hands of the Douglas County.
Yeah, Antonio Glover. He's playing wide receiver, but he's also playing a D-back, and he had it. I mean, he had it, and again, I think it's just first quarter nerves for the kids.
Yep. Well, he missed an opportunity there, but Douglas County seems to have a good punt returner, so it'll be 4th and 14. And once again, Chapel Hill will be putting.
Shea Seeley is set way back about the 20-yard line.
And a line drive kick that actually hit one player. I don't know if it was a Chapel Hill or Douglas County, but rose down to the 20-yard line where Douglas County will take over there. There's a little conversation of which team that it hit.
It's going back for the Tigers. It'll be first down for the Tigers. And Brandon Flemmeister from Chapel Hill Panthers downed it, but it did hit. It looked like it hit a couple of bodies.
Yeah, right in the back, yep.
I'm glad they were down on the field doing the refereeing for that, because I couldn't tell who it hit and who it bounced off of and who was last.
Right.
That kind of looked like a bad croquet game on a Sunday after a few adult beverages.
Yeah, that was about that kick was about 3 feet off the ground, straight at the center.
That was dribbling all over the place.
Yep. But Douglas County does come up with it. First down from the 20-yard line. Looks like we've got a I formation.
Quarterback is Devin Randall with a handoff to Trey Brown, and he goes nowhere.
Yep, that was the first carry for Trey Brown tonight. Looks like he actually lost a couple of yards. So we'll check on the sidelines to see where the male carrier, Brandon Penniman, is. Hope he's not injured.
That puts him back on is it like the close to the 20, about 18,
the 18-yard line?
Uh-huh.
Yep. And I can see number 18, Brandon Penniman, on the sidelines. It looks like he's favoring his right side.
They're going to go to the beef.
Oh, the fullback right up the middle.
I know that's not his nickname, but boy, Walker is real strong. He's a strong runner, close to the ground. He's got speed, and he's got a good body that's close to the ground. It's tough to tackle him. If he pulls those knees up a little higher, I think he would have broken for a little bit more.
Yep, probably the leading rusher for the Douglas County Tigers so far tonight.
That was Joseph Barker up on the left side with a handoff. He sets up front in the I right now.
Yep, still got Trey Brown as the I back. Yeah, they're still trying to grind it out up the middle with the fullback.
Actually, Xavier Packer is back there now, number 28 at running back. So you got to wonder what's wrong with Brandon if he's out for a couple of he's been out for this whole series right now. Get a fourth down and about 4 to go, so it's definitely a punt situation.
Yep, we'll definitely see the Douglas County punter. About 2 minutes to go in the first quarter here. Got a good snap. And there's the kick. It's like about a 35-yard kick that's not going to be fielded. Actually, it hit a
and it looked like Chapel Hill.
It actually hit a Douglas County player, and then it ricocheted off the Chapel Hill back man. But I think that's probably going to be Chapel Hill's ball. I think once it touched the Douglas County player.
Well, he slid back about 3 or 4 yards with the ball up underneath him. So does Zachary Melandonato, does he get credit for, a 70-yard punt? Because the player was dragging it back about 7 yards.
I think that will probably pad his stats somewhat.
That was a pretty huge punt from about the 20-yard line. So
yeah, about the 18-yard line all the way down to the 20. So wasn't necessarily all in the air, but it ended up after ricocheting from a couple of players. Now I think they're actually going to put the ball where it actually hit the Douglas County player and rule it down there. So it's going to cost Douglas County about 12 yards.
And I don't think Zachary's very happy with that because he would have had a real long punt.
Yep.
But it still was a good punt.
Antonio Glover back in at quarterback for Chapel Hill. Looks like we got a 4-receiver set with 1 running back in the backfield. Antonio hands off to Jake LaPointe. He picks up probably 8 yards.
That was Malachi Evans.
Malachi Evans.
Yeah, they got Malachi back there when they set up the I. And Deshaun Abercrombie still at quarterback for the Panthers.
Looks like a second down and a long 6.
It is a long 6. The ball's
from about the 34-yard line.
That was a fake to Malachi, and quarterback took it. There's a penalty flag on the play.
Looks like in the area of holding. We'll wait and see. Well, looks like a...
That's a little clip. A little block in the back or something.
Yeah, block in the back by Chapel Hill. Probably take the penalty.
I would take the penalty and, even
back them up.
Just put them deeper in that zone so that you stand some kind of chance of good field position. Yep, they're going to take the penalty. They'll mark it off real long.
That looks like a 15-yard variety for blocking in the back these days. So that's going to push Chapel Hill all the way back to the 20-yard line. It's going to bring up probably second down and
26 or something?
26 yards.
That's what it looks like. The fellas are in the wrong red zone.
Yep. Looks like Chapel Hill has called their first timeout. So
it's probably a good time to do it, too.
Yeah, teams will go to the sideline. Looks like it's close to the end of the first quarter. And get some water, I'm sure, much needed water on a hot, humid night here in Georgia.
About a minute left in the first quarter. They're at second down, 22 yards to go. Ball on the 20-yard line. And, the D.C. Tigers are saying, it's great. They're liking that.
Yeah. Looks like Chapel Hill is going to open it up a little bit more than I thought. They've thrown probably 6 times. But, it looks like Douglas County is certainly going to stick with their running game. You're still wondering about their star running back, Brandon Penniman. He did not play the last 2 series, so kind of look on the sideline, see what's going on with him.
Yeah, I'm thinking that, they've been trying to run it up the middle, and they're not having any luck with the Tigers. So you would think that the Panthers would at least look at maybe a sweep to the outside or, just something to get it breaking open the game on the outside. But maybe they're seeing something that we can't see from up here. It could be that, the defensive ends are containing the outside, and that's why they're trying it up the middle a lot.
their running backs have had a couple of good runs, opened up the Douglas County defense and picked up 15 yards on one carry and 18 on another. So, I think that they realize that the big play is possible. I think they'll continue to try those kind of off-tackle plays.
I'm noticing the EMTs on the sidelines with Brandon Penniman, and they're kind of taking a look at him right now. Coaches over there. You get about 3 EMTs. It looks like he's got some kind of discomfort. And can't tell if it's knee or the back of the leg.
Well, he keeps grabbing his right side where he's holding on the right side, so I don't know if he took a shot or something, but he's obviously in some pain here. One of the assistant coaches, they're going to try to see if he can go, but I think it's a rib. I think it's a rib on the right side.
He sure is in a lot of pain.
Yeah.
And that's going to be devastating for the team.
Yeah. Douglas County's finest fire department's down there checking him out, as well as one of the assistant coaches, but certainly that could be a problem.
Panthers kept it up the middle on that run and really didn't get much but about 2 or 3 yards. And I think they're just kind of hoping to run down the clock in the first quarter, get out of here, punt it. And
yeah, exactly. It was 2nd and 26, and you're deep into, the visiting territory, so it's certainly not a time to try something crazy, turn the ball over. So I look for them just to grind it back up the middle here and punt it and try to regain field position.
Yeah, they're playing smart, and they've had some issues where they haven't, where they had a good first half against Pebblebrook, and then in the second half there were interceptions and fumbles, and so I guess they would err on the caution side.
Yeah, they were actually ahead in that game 3-0 last week, and ended up turning the ball over 3 times in the second half, and it really cost them. So.
Again, up the middle, really nothing on that play. It's going to be 4th down and 16 to go.
Yeah, Douglas County should have great field position here if we can get Sparkles back here, number 5, to give us a good run back. But that's going to do it for the end of the first quarter here from Tiger Stadium. The score: Douglas County 0 and Chapel Hill Panthers 0.
Both teams looking for a win tonight.
Running back. Looks like he got some ribs.
Yeah, it's probably. Yeah, that's exactly what it looks like. They're opening up.
Mm-hmm.
He got. I didn't see him get hit out on the field, though, so. It might be hip.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like he's up here.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe a hip pointer.
Yeah. That's what I've been looking at.
He looks like he's in pretty good pain.
Pretty much discomfort,
Yeah.
All right, that first quarter last half.
All right, we start the second half with Chapel Hill punting the ball from about the 27-yard line. Mike, both teams have struggled moving the ball. I can't remember, but 1 or 2 first downs for either team in the first quarter.
Yeah, it really is. It's been a pretty good matchup right now. A.J. Lytle's back. Number 12 is going to give it a good punt, but it's a fake. And he's running around the end, and they saw some open field there. That's our first down and more. He's taking it past the 50 all the way down to the 40.
Wow.
Woo, he's got legs.
36-yard line. Fake punt all the way. It was a good snap. He just took off running to the left side. Douglas County was not ready for it.
And they should have known with a wide receiver back there, that's not your punter.
Yep.
That was the wide receiver sitting back there, and it's like unless he was punting before the game, they should have known, hey.
So about a 45-yard pickup there on the fake punt by Chapel Hill. They got the ball on the 38-yard line.
Okay, so I was wrong. AJ was the punter too. So
well, he's a pretty good fake punter.
He's a great fake punter.
Oh, a big hit A big hit for Douglas County as the quarterback let go of the ball. Looks like
Number
that's going to
12,
be Javante Kemp Davis.
Man, he just nailed.
Yep, that is the Douglas County's leading tackler. And he came from the right side, chased the Chapel Hill quarterback down, and right as Chapel Hill quarterback was letting go of the ball, he just smashed him. So
it was a good idea, though. I mean, you know, Abercrombie coming out trying to get a little flare over the middle with some motion to the right-hand side, but Javante, he was just too tough, came up, and he read the play all the way.
Great defensive play. Looks like there was no gain, obviously. So I guess they ruled that he did let go of the ball, and it was an incomplete pass because it's back to the original line of scrimmage.
And that looked like a busted play. They put number 25, Derek Parker, in motion to the left. It looked like it was going to be, something to fake out the Tigers, and then it was supposed to be a draw or at least an inside tackle play up the middle, and it ended up being a quarterback getting smashed.
Yep, there was a miscommunication between Antonio Glover, the quarterback, and someone, that's for sure, because it didn't work out like they planned. They lose about 2 yards, gets it back to about the 41-yard line. It's going to bring up 3rd down and 12.
Well, A.J. Lydell comes back in, and he's going to go to wide receiver right now as he splits to the right. Also wide right, number 25, Derek Parker.
Looks like a shotgun formation for Chapel Hill.
Abercrombie with the snap, gets it, and he's going all the way down the left side of the field. Had some room.
Just overthrown. The receiver was open down the left side, and the ball was just probably 2 yards overthrown. Could have been a big play for Chapel Hill.
And Davian Harris, man, he just sprinted down that left side of the field. He kind of blew away Sparkles, so Sparkles must be tired from a couple of the plays that he had before because he had some, good returns. And I must be tired. He must be tired out there. You're doing, your returns on the kicks, right, and then you're playing defensive back.
Well, if they fake it on their own 20, I would think a fake on their own 40 might be a possibility. But it looks like they're going to just kick it and try to pin Douglas County deep in their own territory.
That was kind of a flat kick. Did somebody get a finger on that?
I don't think so. It just came off the side of his foot. It was about a 20-yard kick with no return. So it's going to be 1st down, Douglas County from their own 20-yard line. Well, what do you do here? You're kind of backed up in your own territory. Your leading running back is sitting on a bench with either a hip point or a rib injury.
I say give it a shot at a pass. I see Stacy Williams wide to the left, but they're going to do a quarterback option, and they're going to pass it off. And around the right-hand side, we've got number 28, Xavier Packer. He's off the bench and in, but put a star next to his name.
Yep, Xavier Packer taking advantage of the situation. Looks like he picked up about 17 yards on an option to the right side. The ball will wind up on about the 38-yard line, be 1st and 10, Douglas County.
It was nice because they split the receivers out, and then they took it wide to the right on a run, and it was an option, and they could have thrown a flare pass if they wanted to.
Yep. It was a great block downfield by the receiver on the right side. So 1st down, Douglasville.
Devin Randall goes back. That obviously was a handoff, and go back to the run on the left-hand side with Xavier Packer right up to the left-hand side, and maybe get about half a yard.
Looks like he got a half a yard or 2 yards, and looks like Mr. Packer is going to be the go-to man, with Brandon Penniman on the bench with an injury.
Sweep to the left, and they've got room on the
open.
left-hand side, and he's going to take it to about 31-yard line, fumble on the out of bounds.
Fumbled out of bounds, gave him a couple of extra yards. Looks like about a 35-yard run into Chapel Hill territory.
Joseph Barker back there leading the blocking, and you got Xavier pulling one to the left-hand side. It looks like he's really fast to the outside. I'd keep going on that outside, left or right, instead of bringing him up the middle. He's a different runner than Brandon.
Oh, yeah. I look to see Brandon up the middle here just to keep him honest. So.
Well, they'll set the eye right now.
Yeah, actually, Joseph Barker's the fullback. You know, he had the big run a while ago. So.
He's up top, and you called it. They're right up the middle.
Yep.
With Xavier behind Barker.
That kind of keeps them honest for that sweep play, so
sure.
Kind of sets up your next play. Looks like a couple of receivers, Antonio Glover and also Stacy Williams.
It looks like Barker's coming to the sideline with a little bit of wind out of him. Looks like he needs a little rest.
Oh, he's tough. Fullbacks are tough.
Of course they are. They make all those fancy running backs look good.
Absolutely.
How do you think those kids can get 100 yards?
Looks like we got 4 receivers. Little quarterback keeper. They turned him back on the inside. Looks like he picked up about 4 yards. That's going to bring up 3rd down and 6 for the Douglas County Tigers.
And it wasn't a bad hole. Devin found it, bringing it out to the right-hand side. It almost looked like an option. It looked like it could have been an option play, but I think it was designed just as a quarterback run up to the right-hand side.
It's like Joseph Barker back in at fullback. I'm sure we'll set up in the I formation. Xavier Packer is the I back. We've got 2 guys split to one side.
There's a fake. And a big loss. Number 54 coming up with a big tackle. It's Marquise Bedford laying into Devin Randall.
Yeah, it looks like Devin Randall was just a slow developing play. Didn't have a chance to get rid of the ball. Results in about a 12-yard loss. And the ball is now on the 35-yard line. We'll see what they have in store here. It looks like they're going to try a little pooch kick to get Chapel Hill backed up in their own territory.
It looks like Chapel Hill's not sending anybody back to, really receive the pooch kick. They're just setting up like it's a normal day at the office. And we've got a timeout on the field.
Yep, looks like Douglas County is going to get their 2nd timeout. I don't know if it was called by Coach Oglesby because the clock was winding down. It doesn't look like he's too happy on the sidelines about something, so I'm sure that's probably what it was. Of course, in that situation, I don't know what 5 yards is going to hurt you. Sometimes it even helps to move the punter a little bit further back, especially since they didn't have anybody back to receive it. So
right. But it didn't even look like the Panthers were setting up to receive the pooch punt. They were just up there on the line, just like, business as usual. So I think they're just going to let it just fall where it may.
Well, I think a lot of things can go wrong in the punting game, especially when your guy is standing inside the 10-yard line. So it's probably just better to punt it, let it roll, let it end up where it
I just think it's rather conservative, though, on their part. But, since they had a lot of fumbles last game, a lot of takeaways from the other team, being very conservative here, the Panthers.
Looks like the punter is going to be standing on the 50-yard line. There's nobody back deep once again for Chapel Hill.
That's a good boot, too.
He kicks it toward the sidelines. It just didn't get out of bounds.
Yep.
So that will end up being a 20-yard punt with no return when they bring it back out to the 20.
Zachary Melindonato kicks one into the end zone.
So the Panthers will try to get their offense going once again from the 20-yard line.
I know it's hot and muggy. It looks like the defense for the Tigers a little sluggish on a couple of these plays here, but they've got a couple of guys that are actually playing on the offense and the defense too. So
a couple of guys both ways. Looks like 3 receivers for Chapel Hill. Quarterback kind of fakes to the running back up the middle and then keeps it himself. Looks like it's going to be about a 4-yard gain. That'll bring up 2nd and 6 for Chapel Hill.
That's a lot of yardage for the quarterback. I mean, that's the most for him tonight, and yeah, that was probably one of their most successful running plays. They should think about doing that later on again.
Yep. Certainly a option-based offense for Chapel Hill. Quarterback kind of fakes it to the fullback, pulls it out, keeps it himself, and then he has the option to pitch also, which we haven't seen him pitch the ball many times tonight to the leading running back. So maybe that's something that they're kind of saving in their bag.
Tomasini split wide to the right, and we got a whistle on the play. We got a timeout.
Well, we have a delay of game on the Chapel Hill Panthers. So that's going to push them back pretty much where they started, about the 20-yard line. But it will bring up a 2nd and 10.
Well, and that's the thing that plagued them the last game when they were playing Pebblebrook. You know, when you make mistakes like that, mental mistakes, not taking a look at the clock, not taking care of the basics, you're going to have some problems on the field. And, you know, you got a 0-0 game and you had a little momentum going your way. That kind of slows it down.
Yeah, Chris Parker, the head coach for Chapel Hill, a great fundamental guy. I'm sure he'll have a little chat with him in the locker room at halftime. Looks like 2nd and 8. The quarterback once again fakes it to the fullback. He was absolutely swamped by the Douglas County defense.
He was manhandled by Malik Walker. Walker came in there and wrapped him up like he was a body wrap, a seaweed body wrap at a spa. I'll tell you, my wife's she's gone for a couple of those. You lose about 10 pounds. I think the quarterback lost some poundage on that one.
Yeah, I don't think wouldn't have to have the seaweed here tonight, as hot as it is.
I think I'm going to call Malik Seaweed because he wraps him up.
It looks like Chapel Hill's offense is just taking a long time to develop, and by the time the quarterback actually gets to his second option, we've got Douglas County has 4 or 5 guys in the backfield just making it difficult on him. A little cross-buck play there with the wingman came back across, got the handoff. It did fail to gain for Chapel Hill. So it's going to bring up a 4th down once again and 6 yards to go. And better be real careful here. They faked it last time from the 20, and they're on the 21-yard line this time.
I don't know if they'll try that again. I mean, I certainly wouldn't. I mean, especially since that series of those plays didn't go very well for Chapel Hill. I'd just punt it and keep out of trouble. Yep. That's a low punt. It's going to dribble a little bit, and the Tigers are going to leave it alone.
Yeah, that's the second punt from the Chapel Hill punter that's gone about 3 feet off the ground, straight back to the center. But both times it's got a good roll, so it kind of worked out for him.
It's like that soccer punt, Maybe he plays soccer, and that's kind of that soccer punt. Yep. If it works, it works. I mean, as far as it can travel, as far back as you can get the Tigers. They're going to need to do that. The Panthers are going to need to do that. One
thing we haven't thought about, maybe Shea Seeley has had some outstanding punt returns this season, and they're kind of keeping it away from him.
And you may be
anyway,
right. Yeah.
Douglas County's setting up shop here on the 36-yard line. Be 1st and 10.
Glover's wide right. Seeley's out there as well.
Xavier Packer is the lone running back. Looks like the quarterback's going to come down the line, pitch it to the right side. Packer goes for about 6 yards, ran out of bounds by the Chapel Hill defense.
He's pretty good on those sweeps. I like to see him. He's got great speed, good burst to the outside. And they don't really do that with Brandon. So maybe Chapel Hill was really expecting to contain Brandon tonight and for him to be the player, and now they have to readjust on defense. As
Brandon still sitting on the sideline in front of us here with some type of injury, maybe a hip pointer to the right side or a rib. But it doesn't look like he's coming back tonight. What do you think?
No, I think he's going to be sitting on the bench. He looks like he's in pain, and he's sitting on the bench all by himself there. Here's an option play. Xavier to the outside maybe picks up about 1.5 yards.
A little quarterback option there. He did pitch the ball. The handoff was kind of bobbled by Mr. Packer, but he picked up a couple of yards. Well, we've just been told that the rain has started to come down here at Tiger Stadium.
Oh, and it is coming down pretty good, too.
I guess that explains the humidity. All right, looks like we are getting ready for the second half kickoff here at Tiger Stadium. Douglas County will be receiving the ball, and they do have a 7-0 lead over Chapel Hill. Monk, what jumped out at you the first half?
Well, I have to say that, they stuck to the ground game, but then when Brandon Penniman went out, and it looks like he's got an ice pack on his hip, they had to make some adjustments. They started running the ball still up the middle, but they swept it on the outside, and then they got to that 4 series where they ended up a passing game, and they did pretty well with it. So I think they try a little bit more of that in the second half. Chapel Hill, they just did not have any penetration at all except for the fake punt with A.J. Liddell. So,
well, as we see Brandon Penniman sitting on the sideline, he does have his pads off, and he has some ice on his right hip. So obviously a
we got to
hip
kick
corner.
off in the second half, and nailed at about the 15-yard line. Antonio Glover goes down hard. You think Coach is going to stay true to the smash mouth football that he wanted to establish in the first half, or is he going to have to break away?
Well, I think as far as Douglas County, I think he will certainly stay with it now that he has a 7-point lead.
Not a comfortable lead, though.
No, I mean, they're one big play away from being tied up, and that certainly can happen. As we saw, last week, Douglas County gave up a kickoff return and also a punt return against their opponent, and just really took them out of that game. So, yeah, certainly anything can happen. I would like to see a little more points on the board before we start going conservative for Douglas County.
And another run up the middle, and exactly what you said. They're going to do a little conservative. So Jermaine Burrows gets out probably about a yard and a half.
It looks like Jermaine Burrows, he's a sophomore, and looks like he's got some carries tonight. So good for him.
The defense for Chapel Hill has not been bad. They've actually contained some of the outside running. They've slipped up on a couple of the outside runs by the DC Tigers. And it looks like they're containing the middle pretty well right now coming out in the second half. They're going to have to continue to do that.
Oh.
And exactly right. Number 28 right up the middle. It's Malcolm Broderick. He was a defensive end that came in over the middle. It almost looked like a blitz.
Looked like a busted play. Quarterback tried to hand it off to the second back through and just didn't make the connection. Kind of left the quarterback there in no man's land, and he paid the price. So it's going to bring up third down and probably about 14 from the 11-yard line. So Douglas County kind of putting themselves in the hole here to start the second half.
And they don't need to do that. They really had momentum going with them at the end of the first half. Chapel Hill is very lucky to come out of this being an away game for them at 7-0.
Quarterback in the shotgun formation, just kind of goes straight up the middle on a quarterback draw play. Looks like he picks up about 4 yards. It's going to bring up a 4th and 11, and Douglas County will have to punt once again.
We had a couple people mention that Devin Randall, the quarterback, actually looks like he's kind of walking around a little slow on his feet. Looks like he's gingerly walking around.
He didn't look good coming out the second half from the locker room. I don't know if he took a stinger or something, but something certainly slowed him down for the first half. Punt formation. Punter standing on the goal line. Looks like a good snap and an excellent kick from his own goal line.
That's going to take it down to about the 36-yard line of Chapel Hill Panthers, and that was a real fine kick.
About a 56-yard kick with no return after it stopped rolling. So we'll certainly take that at this point from punting from your own goal line.
And it's not bad field position for the Panthers, but what they have to do now is they're going to have to establish a running game if they want to even get into the passing game. They tried to do that in desperation toward the end of the first half, which I thought was kind of crazy for them to do. They needed to just get out of there, and they did. Fortunately, with just a 7-0, being behind 7-0.
Yeah, I think they're having trouble blocking the front three for Douglas County. I know the head-on center, Brandon Bostic, has been in the backfield several times, and it just looks like their plays are slow to develop. So they'll try to pick up on that on the second half.
It's number 25, Derek Parker, who comes out over the left side, and kind of pushes the ball up to about a 5-yard gain.
A couple of blockers in front of him there, just grind it out. Picks up 5 yards. It'll bring up 2nd and 5 for Chapel Hill Panthers. Kind of a cool breeze has came upon Tiger Stadium. That certainly helps.
Sure, the players like that kind of stuff. I'm sure that they hydrated during halftime, and then they're coming out and a little refreshed. It looks like Chapel Hill actually has a little spunk in them. Number 12, A.J. Liddell to the right, but they're going to run it up to the left-hand side again. And exactly how you called it, just a tough.
Brandon Jackson that time just was 2 yards in the backfield, and they tried a little cross-buck play, and he just stood him up. Probably lost a yard.
Yeah, they've been tough up in the middle. I mean, occasionally the Panthers will come through and get a play. I don't know if it's they see something a little bit more off tackle where it seems to be an opportunity for them, but when they come straight up the middle, it's not happening. Slant pass.
Yep, little slant pass to number 12.
And that's Liddell. Deshaun Abercrombie to Liddell, and that's a pretty good game.
Yeah, that'll get a first down for Chapel Hill. Getting closer to the 50-yard line.
Well, they have to continue to do this. They have to and mix it up a little bit. Looks like they're trying to, go 50-50 on the pass and the run, and it seems to be working at least for now.
That was a little fake up the middle quarterback rollout. He actually had a receiver about the 36-yard line, but he just overthrew him, so that'll be an incomplete pass.
Trey Brown was on him, but he had a little bit of room there, and number 33, Evans, had an opportunity to catch it, but the ball was overthrown.
It seems like when Chapel Hill's offense is really clicking and they make this, they get a good snap, they get good fakes, good handoffs, they gain some yardage. But when they pause for just a second and allow the Douglas County defensive linemen to penetrate, that's where they get themselves in trouble.
And I don't know if that's a lack of confidence, if that's just the young players, but jitters should be out. We're in the second half now.
Oh, sure.
Oh, nice tackle.
Yep, little face mask there. Douglas County, good tackle, but by the wrong equipment.
Absolutely.
I
don't think it was the birthday boy. It's Paul Castrenzi. He's celebrating his birthday today, and that's not the kind of present you want to get.
Yeah, it'll probably be a 15-yard penalty here for face mask against Douglas County.
Well, I think he just grabbed around. He was just trying to grab a jersey and went up a little high there. Nothing intentional, nothing malicious.
Yeah, his little toss sweep to the left. It wasn't going to be a gain for Chapel Hill, but
now he's saying that he grabbed the shirt and the pads. I see him over there on the sideline with the coach saying, "Hey, coach, I grabbed the pads." But the referee saw it up a little higher.
Yeah, well, exactly. And a lot of times the player certainly doesn't make the decision with the referee. So
yeah, exactly.
Referee's probably going to win it on this one. So,
but come on, it's his birthday. You got to give the kid a break.
Yeah.
17 today.
I'm sure Chris Parker, coach for Chapel Hill, I'm sure he talked to his kids at halftime. They didn't have a real good first half, but they were only down 7 points. And so I wouldn't think it was panic time for them. I think he probably told them that this first series, when they get the ball back, first or second series in the second half is going to be very important. And it looks like they listened a little bit. Looks like they're playing a little better offensively.
And you know what? And here's a very, very bad penalty for the Tigers, and the ball gets to the 35. So now you're moving the ball for Chapel Hill. In addition to them moving the ball a little bit, this has got to be a good thing for them.
Yeah, they don't have 5-yard face mask penalties anymore. Now they're all 15-yarders. Right. And I don't know if, you can accidentally do it sometimes.
Well, I think that was an accident.
That was
not one of those, hey, I'm going to grab you because you're going to run around the end and get about 20 yards, so I'm going to stop you. It just really was more of an incidental. Yeah.
And a 15-yard penalty is a really a big advantage.
Oh, this is huge now.
It brings them out of their own territory into Douglas County's territory. So,
little motion going on, and a timeout. No, it's a delay of game. Yeah, they've done this a couple of times.
They have had some penalties tonight.
Oh, illegal motion.
Yeah, that was a little false start by Chapel Hill.
I'll just throw out every penalty I can and see if I can get it. Yeah, he's clipping the back. Yeah, he's grabbing the hair. Well, that kind of offsets the 15-yard penalty just a little bit.
Yeah, that helps. Definitely helps Douglas County. Get them going the opposite direction here. That's what you want.
19 in motion again. That's Torrey Slater. We'll keep an eye on him. And we're going back for the pass. It's to the right-hand side. Liddell's wide open, and he's got a great catch. It's down to the 5-yard line as he goes out of bounds.
That was just a fly pattern straight down the right sideline. Defensive back for Douglas County just got turned around, wasn't looking for the ball, and the wide receiver just ran under it. So
and Abercrombie just let it fly, man.
He's got a good arm.
He does have a good arm.
That pass probably went around 40 yards, and the receiver just ran up and under it, and next thing you know, it's first down and goal from the 5-yard line. So.
Good play. So what do you do now if you're at Chapel Hill?
You just run it. I mean, you got to run it the first or second down to try to grind it in there. Maybe that quarterback option, quarterback sweep, that's been effective tonight. So,
or off tackle.
Had a little sweep to the left side.
That was Derek Parker trying to take it out, and I think Sparkles was in on that, wasn't he?
I believe Sparkles was.
Sparkles in on the tackle.
Great defensive play. Probably saved a touchdown because there was nobody else after him. So,
and Seeley is very speedy out there. He's got a lot
great
of speed.
Once again, looking out at the Douglas County defense, you don't see a lot of big guys, so I can see why they rely on their speed.
Sure. They'll just go the other way with a similar play.
Yeah, it's going to be close down to the 1-yard line, maybe.
Is the ball loose? No, it's not.
Nope, It's going to be third down, probably from the 1-foot line for Chapel Hill. They're just grinding the ball. I think they've got Douglas County's defense on their heels. I think they're just grinding it out.
Well, Benny, you're right. They just have to do it when they got into the red zone and they had that pass. They just have to keep on hammering it away. They're going a little bit off tackle, and that's probably where they're going to gain most of their yards. If they go up the middle, I think they're going to be stopped.
Oh, great defensive play.
The ball is down. Tigers thought they had a fumble.
Yep, Jake LaPointe came from his linebacker position, caught the running back about 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage and able to take him down, and that's a huge play. That's going to bring up a 4th down, and we'll see if they decide to go for it or if they decide to get the points.
I think they bring the little block of wood out and they kick a field goal. So
looks like Carlton Hadley is going to try the field goal. Looks like it's going to be about a 20-yarder.
Blake Butler.
Oh, it's blocked.
Gets blocked.
Blocked by Douglas County.
That was a great block. I don't know who got their hand on it. And there's a penalty marker down.
I think it was LaCurtis Campbell, number 25, that got his hand on it. He came all the way from the right side, really got a jump on the snap, and was able to block that kick.
But there's a piece of laundry on the field, and you don't want to see that, especially if you're the Tigers.
Yeah, I think
it's against the Tigers.
Yeah, that's going to be a personal foul. But you know what? I think it's after the block.
And if it's after the block, then you still keep the ball, and that's still good.
Yeah.
But it takes a little air out of the balloon.
Well, it does, and it backs you up 15 yards. They actually had the ball on the 21-yard line, and now they're going to be backed up to their own 6-yard line. So it certainly changes your play calling. It was a celebration penalty after the blocked field goal that Douglas County was flagged for. So certainly that does not help. I'm sure Coach Oglesby is not happy with that one.
You know what? I don't know about the celebration penalty. I kind of, you make a great play like that. They're kids. Give them a chance to just hoot and holler and have a good time after a play like that. That was a spectacular block.
I agree, especially in college. Those guys aren't getting paid. They're out there going to school and working hard and score a touchdown, and they want you to throw the ball to the ref and get off the field.
Well, it's not like the kids were showboating. So.
Exactly.
in the pros it's a little different. If you're Terrell Owens and you're pulling out pens and making signatures after you do something, that's a different story.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a little sweep play to Anthony Garner. One of his first carries of the night. Looks like he picked up a couple of yards. Going to bring up 2nd and 8 for Douglas County.
Now, Anthony also plays linebacker, too. So here he is.
Both ways.
Dual game, linebacker, running back. It looks like Devin, the quarterback, is actually feeling a little bit better. It looked like he was.
Yeah, I'm sure the heat helps coming out of the locker room.
Sure.
He was kind of cold, but once he gets back out here, nothing's going to keep him off the field tonight, that's for sure.
Tried to run up the middle, and then they had to kind of like sidestep off tackle, and boy, they just really didn't go anywhere with that play.
Looks like Anthony Garner, once again, I think that's his 2nd carry here in the second half. So we've seen a couple of different running backs.
Yeah, kind of interesting, too. They were doing real well with Xavier Packer a little bit earlier, and I thought maybe they might bring him back in. He was doing a good job for him, especially on the outside.
Yeah, we're going to have to find him on the sidelines. I don't know if something's up with him or not, but he hasn't seen action here in the second half.
I'm kind of surprised.
Certainly has some good runs in the first half. Looks like it's going to be about 3rd and a long 8 for Douglas County. They are backed up.
Trying to sweep out to the right and not going anywhere. It's a loss.
And that's going to bring up a 4th down, which the Douglas County punter is actually going to have to be standing in his own end zone, which that's always a scary proposition.
Well, has Zachary Melandonato had that happen to him anytime this season?
I don't know. He punted from the goal line a while ago and hit that 56-yarder. So
maybe he likes it back there.
He might.
That could be where he likes to play. Give me something back in the goal line. He's counting up the players.
Yep, Zachary's a senior. He's also an offensive lineman. He doesn't look like a punter.
He is a big kid. He's a big punter. That one's going to go probably about 30, 35 yards. And then that's a great Tiger roll.
Yep, Douglas County roll all the way down to the 46-yard line.
Nice roll.
Yeah. So that's about a 46-yarder. He's got a pretty good average with the rolls tonight.
He sure does. Boy, I bet you they're wiping their brow tonight saying, whew, we got out of that one. That was close.
Yep.
Let's see if the Panthers come back and start to use their passing game. I think they should.
They may continue to pick on the defensive backs. They've had some success there tonight, and certainly the last 50-yard pass play was a huge success, got them back into this game. So.
Well, as good as Shea Seeley is, Sparkles does a great job out there. I'd be picking on him because he's playing both sides of the ball tonight. And, when you play offense and defense, you're in the 3rd quarter. You got to be a little tired.
Little quarterback keeper from Deshay. Looks like he's going to pick up about 10 yards for Chapel Hill.
Abercrombie can really read the hole. He does a good job with that.
Yeah, that spread offense, the quarterback is obviously very important. Has to make a lot of decisions. Running backs are going different directions. It's hard to kind of keep up who's got the ball. That's why quarterbacks really have a lot of success running that spread offense.
Yeah, he's a tall quarterback too, so I think he can see the field pretty well when he gets out there.
I just wonder how many times they'll run the ball until they throw for the long pass like they did a while ago. I'm sure they're kind of baiting Douglas County right now to get them back on their heels, and then
sure. Well, if that strategy is going to work for them, and there's a whistle, so we're going to have some kind of motion on this one, I think. And it seems every time they get just a little bit of yardage, get something going.
Yep, delay of game penalty against Chapel Hill, and that's going to, it was 2nd and 1. Now it's going to be 2nd and 6. So.
Yep, keep going back to that Pebblebrook game where they had a good first half. Kept it tight. They were in the lead. Fumbles, interceptions. Again, you make the mental mistakes. You do a silly thing like this. It's like delay a game. Come on.
Yeah, you certainly can't make these bad choices on the road because you don't have a lot of chances against the home team. Stands have filled up pretty good for Chapel Hill.
I know.
Yeah.
They must have called more people to come in, bring in the cavalry and the reinforcements. Man, I'll tell you, he scrambled for that, and Malachi Evans, he's just low to the ground, and he'll get that extra 2 or 3 yards.
He is. I don't think he would be considered their speed back, but I think more of a power back.
Sure.
But went off the left side there and picked up about 6 yards. So it would bring up 3rd and 2. So good play here, and they could be rolling toward the goal line.
That was a nice pickup for them. They needed it, especially after the delay of game. They got 2 yards to go for the first down. Might as well just keep pounding it up the middle. Oh, and there's a fumble.
You know, the fumbled snap, but the quarterback picked it up and lunged forward, and I think he's picked up the first down.
He might have gotten it, but let's hope that he falls on top of it, because if he doesn't, that could be horrendous at this point of the game.
Yeah, busted play. I think it's going to end up close to a first down. I think they'll probably have to measure. So, no, they're saying it's 4th down.
What do? You got inches to go. You know, you're on the 42-yard line of the Tigers.
Yeah, I think you go for it here. I mean, you're on the road. You don't have a lot to lose.
That's exactly what they'll do. So we're going to run. We're going to pass.
Well, you got to run.
And they did.
Yeah. Oh, number 33, straight up the middle. Their workhorse.
Now, he might get it on the forward momentum, but I'll tell you, they came up real quick. The linebackers came up quick and plugged the hole.
Yeah, with a spot, it's going to be a first down for Chapel Hill. So, moving into Douglas County territory.
And we didn't see that much in the first half.
No.
They're moving the ball a lot better than they did in the first half.
Yeah. Just 27 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. So,
sweep to the right. And you're going to get about 2 or 3 yards out of that one. That's number 20. That's Davian Harris.
I think that's probably his first carry of the night. Little wide receiver coming around all the way to the other side of the field on a toss sweep.
He's got a lot of speed, though. I like the way that play was designed to pick up about 3 or 4 yards. Not bad.
Yeah. I'm looking for that fly pattern down the field pretty soon.
You know it's coming.
Yeah.
You can smell it.
Looks like Douglas County is going to call their first time out of the second half. And actually, that's the end of the 3rd quarter, so not a timeout. So same score as halftime, but we've seen a lot more action in the 3rd quarter.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
It's a good matchup. I think the second half, Chapel Hill is coming out. The Panthers are coming out saying, you know what? They probably went into the locker room saying, we're only down 7 points. Yeah. And it was that last series of plays that the Tigers had where they had a very good passing play, and they thought, we've been holding them all game long. We're not out of this yet. Yeah. And they're coming in, and they're coming and showing these guys that they're a team to contend with.
Yeah, and I think Chapel Hill's defense has played a little better here in the second half. I don't think that Douglas County has had the ball past the 30-yard line here in the second half.
That's right, and they're failing right now in getting the offense going. But they have some problems. Brandon's not in there. Coach hasn't brought Xavier Packer back, who had some success in the first half. You've seen a couple of running backs come in and out that hadn't even touched the ball in the first half. So, they just have to get into a rhythm.
Yeah.
And maybe in this half, Chapel Hill's feeling a little sense of urgency. They know they're 0-3 on the season. This is a pivotal game for them.
Oh, it's a big game. I mean, the season starts over. And for them to beat Douglas County on the road for the first time in school history, that'll make them forget about that 0-3 start. I can tell you.
It's kind of like their mini Super Bowl.
Oh my goodness.
Is that the smash mouth football you were talking about?
Well, actually it's on defense, but that was a little crossbuck play that came back to the left side.
So was that Keith Radford on the hit there? Or
I think it is.
Okay.
He just absolutely nailed Chapel Hill running back.
He was getting a lot of pats on the helmet, so he must have been the guy responsible for that.
It's going to be 3rd and 4 for Chapel Hill.
Ooh, I could feel that one up in the booth.
Yep, we could hear it up here.
You could hear it too, yeah. That was a smack.
I don't miss those days.
It's a nice pass. Oh, we got a little penalty there. Woo. Caleb Clemens.
Yeah, a little trick play. Antonio Glover, wide receiver, actually took the snap, and he was kind of in a wildcat formation for Chapel Hill. Did a flag pattern with the receiver and just overthrew him. The ball wasn't catchable, but Douglas County defensive back kind of grabbed him on the way, and they're going to call that pass interference anytime.
All right, we standing here live with Elizabeth Mills, head cheerleader with Douglas County Tigers. Elizabeth, how does it look for the season?
For the season, I'm not, our team they're tough, but sometimes they get big-headed, and then sometimes they don't know what they want to do, but it's going to be a great outcome.
Going to be a good season?
Yeah, it's going to be a good season.
Okay, live. And you have a connection to the city, don't you?
Yes, sir, I sure do.
What's your connection to the city?
My father, Andrew Mills.
All right, Andrew, we thinking about you. Back to you.
So it looks like the ball is going to be reset at the 24-yard line.
Well, they're going to walk it off.
Actually walked off a 1-yard penalty. I don't know what that.
Yeah, that was a short penalty.
Yeah, evidently I have it spotted at the wrong spot.
That was a hair out of place, Sorry, guys. You had a little hair out of place there.
But it's Sean Abercrombie back at quarterback.
They were showing blitz on that one, and almost like a draw play.
I think they did catch Douglas County in a blitz. Perfect call, draw play. Picked up about 8 yards for Chapel Hill.
Yeah, the timing on that couldn't have been better for them. Sending 33 up the middle on a hesitation, a little draw play on a blitz. Perfect call.
Yep.
Liddell with the catch, and he goes another 3 or 4 yards, maybe 5 on that.
Just a simple slant pattern by the receiver. A great catch. Had a little bit of distance from the defensive backs.
Lost his shoe. Either that or he's going in for a new Dr. Scholl's.
I think he lost his shoe.
He wants to go get the gelling stuff, man. I am gelling.
Gained about 4 yards after the catch, so looks like he has his shoe problem fixed. He's coming back in. And the Douglas County defense needs to make a play here.
Okay, we're here with Jenna Henry. I'm guessing you're a senior, right? I am a senior. Okay. How long have you been going here? All 4 years. Oh, that's great. Are you ready? Do you think we're going to win the game?
I definitely do. Chapel Hill's been ridiculous all week, and they've acted like they're going to beat us, but they're not. We're amazing.
Don't they all? All right, so what do you think of the outfit? What idea was it to dress up in these outfits?
Well, we were going to paint our bodies, but then we decided it'd be better just to make shirts, so it was sort of like an idea altogether, and we went yesterday, we made our shirts and cut them off like muscle shirts, and then we went today, and we painted all the boys up, and we look pretty awesome.
That is pretty awesome. You guys look good. You look really good. All right, let's get another big old cheer for DC seniors.
They just have to think about not making any mistakes here, and not to say they need to play very safely, but I wouldn't pass it, but I have a feeling they're going to try a pass. or a sweep, and a touchdown.
Yep. Great call, just a toss sweep to A.J. Lindell around the right side. Pretty much went untouched for the touchdown. So we're waiting an extra point. Looks like we have another flag.
We got a flag. So did somebody come in late on the play? Did someone come in, maybe get on the field a little late?
Looks like they're definitely talking to Douglas County.
So it's going to go against Chapel Hill right here. Legal substitution or something? Or illegal shift?
Looks like an illegal shift against the Chapel Hill Panthers. So that's going to take the points off the board, which you never like.
Well, I wondered why that play worked so well. Now I know why.
Yeah, he just happened to have a 20-yard head start on the defense. So that's going to change a little bit. It'll still be first down, but they'll be going from about the 9-yard line.
That means keep yelling for the defense.
Hey, there's helmets flying, so Tigers are serious about keeping the Panthers out of the end zone.
And great defensive play. Looks like the stop was by Antonio Jackson that made the big hit.
Well, Evans just couldn't get around that end. I mean, they contained the defensive end for the Tigers, held it in, and Jackson came up and took care of the situation.
I think number 12, A.J. Lindell, on that sweep while ago, even though he had a 20-yard head start, I think he shows a little more speed around the corner. I'll probably look for them to go back to that.
I think so.
Before the game's over.
He's set back a little bit now, and he's going to go to the left, and they're going to sweep to the left. So they're just trying it the other way now.
Yep.
And it's a touchdown. They got pushed over the goal line.
Well, it looks like they're going to spot it on the 1-yard line.
Okay, they are.
But that was number 12, A.J. Lindell.
He's been awesome for the team tonight. Panthers has done a great job. Caught a couple of catches, and he's been superb on the sweeps.
He's a big kid.
Quarterback sneak.
Looks like Douglas County's going to stop them.
They're denied.
It's going to bring up 4th down from the 1.
And have we seen this before? That's a tough Tigers defense.
I think you got to go here. You're on the road. I don't think you kick the field goal here.
I think you sweep it. You've been real successful with Liddell on the outside. Fake it up the middle and go to the sweep.
It looks like Coach Parker is going to call a timeout to kind of talk about this. Obviously a pivotal point in the game. 4th down from the 1-yard line for Chapel Hill. Down 7-0. So
we're almost there in the 4th quarter now, about 47 seconds away. So this is going to be a very crucial play call.
Well, Chapel Hill has certainly controlled the second half.
Absolutely, and kind of uncharacteristic for the Tigers. But when it came down, when push comes to shove, and they're on the goal line and they're holding them, they've got their composure back.
Yeah. I think Douglas County's only had the ball 2 series in the second half, which is very surprising.
You said it before, they have to get the defense off the field because at some point these boys are going to get tired.
Yeah. Well, I think Chapel Hill's definitely going to go for it.
I think it'd be a mistake if they go up the middle or try a quarterback sneak again. I'm seeing Liddell getting set up over there on the left-hand side, maybe a sweep to the right with him. And there's motion.
They stopped him. No.
It's a touchdown. It's a touchdown.
Oh, they gave him a touchdown.
They put a little motion on Liddell like he was going to go with the sweep to the right and went right up the middle. So good play call.
Right up the middle of Malachi Evans. A big touchdown there for Chapel Hill. 8:43 left in the 4th quarter.
Well, they blocked the field goal last time.
Yeah, the rush came from the left side. We'll look for it this time to see.
And Blake Butler's got the ball down. And
he blocked
it
again. That time it was actually Antonio Glover. Woo! Antonio Glover coming from the left side and actually blocked the extra point attempt by Chapel Hill. So with 8 minutes and 43 seconds to go, it's Douglas County 7, Chapel Hill 6.
Well, they accomplished exactly what they wanted to do. Tiger defense really rose to the occasion. You got to get that extra point.
Yeah, the rush came from the same exact spot both times.
They haven't had much luck at all, and I don't know what it is. Is the ball not getting back fast enough or set up for Blake?
It looked like, to me, it took a long time to develop as well as it did with the field goal. But, I mean, that guy's coming straight from the left side, and, I mean, he's just untouched. So now we got a ball game.
Yeah, and they've got their number when it comes to kicking that ball. The Tigers defense really taking a spectacular stand and keeping the lead. But they have not moved the ball this quarter. We got 43 seconds left, and they're going to have to get on the ball in order to. They're going to have to score because Chapel Hill defense has been pretty good, and the Panthers are definitely moving the ball on offense.
Yeah, I don't think you can give the ball back to Chapel Hill. I think you've got to have a couple of first downs here, get the clock down to 3 or 4 minutes.
Sure.
If they go 3 and out here, I think Douglas County may be in trouble. He did kick it deep. Looks like the ball is going to go out of the back of the end zone, so will be brought out to the 20-yard line.
One, Bennett,
No, that's a pretty good kick.
You can't block that on the kickoff, and that kid's got a good leg. Just hasn't had any luck getting the extra point or the field goal during this game.
So we'll see here if Douglas County can get something going on offense. I think this is the third series of the second half that they've had the ball. We've got about 8 minutes to go in the game. And for them to be successful, they're going to have to rattle off a couple of first downs here.
Yeah, I say you give the ball to Joseph Barker. He's in there now. He's a power back. Run it up the middle a couple of times. Then work with your wide receivers. They haven't really passed anything yet. Haven't seen Stacy Williams with a catch or anything like that. I mean, they're going to do it. They're going to send the quarterback up, fake it to Barker, and put
a little quarterback keeper.
Yep.
I wonder why we haven't seen Mason Parker in the second half.
That's a good question. Devin Randall goes to the sidelines, gets quick play from coach, brings it back to the huddle.
Looks like a 2nd and 5 for Douglas County as the clock goes down to under 8 minutes.
Man, Darius Anderson, the center, is really pushing people out of the way to get some room for the runners here on this series.
That's Biscuit, they call him.
Is that what they call him Biscuit? Is that because he eats so many biscuits?
Well, I can't really see from the press box, but judging from what I can see, I think he's had a couple of biscuits in his time.
He probably has it with gravy and, a little sausage on the side.
Well, I think Douglas County's pretty much told them, hey, there's 7 minutes to go. It's time for you guys to suck it up. We're going to stick with the running game. You're going to have to get a couple of first downs here. Looks like Douglas County is going to take a timeout with 7 minutes and 25 seconds to go. Douglas County is still on top, 7-6.
Got a great game too.
It's been a great game.
Panthers really aren't giving them too much space on this and holding the line right now. But you're right, a 3 and out on this. That's why I think Coach called the timeout. That would not be a good thing. They really have to get that first down.
Yep. Another first down. We'll take off 2 or 3 minutes off the clock. Get them under 4 minutes. I just don't see them. I just don't see them throwing the ball downfield here.
No, I think they stay with the running game. Even though their star running back Brandon is out, looks like he's got a bruised hip. He's got some ice on it. He's been on the sideline. He's hanging in there supporting the guys, but it must be kind of frustrating for a guy like that, thinking, man, I wish I could be out there, because he knows he can help the team.
Oh, absolutely. Especially coming off 3 games where he rushed over 100 yards. But the backup backs for Douglas County have done a pretty good job.
Not bad, and I noticed that they have Anthony Gamer in there now, number 19. They're just going to go with a quarterback up the middle.
Little quarterback draw, first down.
Yeah, that was real nice. Devin Randall getting some space, and like I mentioned before, you got Biscuit. I just love that name. He's moving people out of the way. Straight
up the middle, right? Right on his hip for a gain of 4 or 5 for a first down. So clock's going to run under 7 minutes here.
And what's the average weight on the front line?
260 pounds for Douglas County's line. So
well, they're moving the meat now, as they say.
Yeah, the game's on the line. I think the coach has probably told them, hey, now's the time. We're going to put it in y'all's hands. We're going to run the ball.
That's right.
Not do anything fancy, and it's gut time.
Yeah, you've got some good running backs, and you don't want to take anything away from the running backs. But when you get some blocking, that's when you get some yardage.
Looks like Devin Randall on a little quarterback keeper to the right side. Looks like he's going to pick up maybe 5 yards.
Yeah, that's not
a good game.
Yeah, sure. I think he wanted to go a little bit inside just off tackle, but decided that, linebackers were coming up too quick, and he tried to make that move to the outside. Just couldn't quite get past the linebacker.
Yeah. There was only one defender left.
I know.
If Randall would have got past him, it would have been
to get past that one guy, and that was going all the way to the house.
It's going to bring up 2nd and 6. Clock going under 6 minutes now.
Sweep.
A little toss sweep. He fumbles.
And it's going to be
Chapel Hill
ball.
It was Anthony Garner who misplayed the pitch from the quarterback, put the ball on the ground, and Douglas County took advantage and jumped on the ball.
It's a tough play for Anthony to come in, and he wasn't out there. I didn't see him in the first half. He's out there in the second half, maybe the first or second time that he's touched the ball.
Yep.
And just didn't get a grasp on it, and just a bad time to lose that ball.
Yeah, Chapel Hill ball on the 34-yard line. Down 1 point.
They can't afford to make mistakes now. They've been controlling this game in the past couple quarters. And they go for the quick kill.
Receiver was wide open down the right sideline. Beautiful pass by the quarterback. Just hit the receiver right in the hands, and he just was unable to make the catch.
Well, I think he was worried about running out of a little bit of real estate there in the end zone, and, maybe got a little excited about grabbing the ball before he could bring it in. It was a good pass, and why not give it a shot to the end zone? It was a perfect pass, so you couldn't really get an interception on it either. Oh, there's somebody down.
Yep, we have a Chapel Hill player down. Can't see exactly who it is.
He looks like he's hurting.
Try to give you a number as soon as we can.
He was moving around, so that's a good sign.
Yeah, he was holding his leg. I thought he just had a cramp. He was holding the back of his leg, but let's hope that's all it is.
Being a 10-2 on the field right now, so we're just making him comfortable. He's moving his hands around, so,
Yeah.
Like you said, it could be just a cramp. Needs to get a little water. Could just be that he's winded, too. Yeah. Sometimes a player will just take a little time out and just like, all right, just leave me down here, coach.
Yeah.
Give me a little breather.
It looks like he's coming to his feet.
He's coming out.
Probably number 20 for Douglas County. It looks like Devlin Harris.
Oh, looks like a leg injury. So it could be a cramp.
Well, we've had quite a turn of events here at Tiger Stadium.
It's like a back and forth game. When one team gets something going for them, then something like this happens, an injury. You had a fumble just moments ago with the Tigers. It's just back and forth, and that makes it an exciting 7-6 game. 6 minutes left in the game.
Pretty good game for our first City TV broadcast.
Oh, I love this. And we're already in the fourth quarter. This game went by very quickly.
Yep.
A lot of action, especially in the past couple of quarters.
Little run straight up the middle. Douglas County's defense.
We got Brandon Jackson that was in on there in the defensive end. He's been doing a good job all night with containment on the outside and pushing the backs back in. And then I think number 26, or was it Trey or was it Dante Richardson that came up with the tackle?
I think Dante Richardson. We got one-on-one coverage on the left side, and they're going to try it. Quarterback scrambles, looking for a receiver. He's loose.
And he's got a first down. And there's a flag. Late hit.
Runs out of bounds around the 19-yard line, and then we're going to have a
and you know what?
unsportsmanlike conduct penalty against Douglas County. It's going to get them even closer to the goal line.
The kids get the momentum going, and they're running toward the sideline, and they just have to learn how to put on the brakes.
Yep.
So this is going to put the ball in the red zone. They walk this one off.
Yeah, may get it down to close to the 5-yard line.
And this is something that the Tigers don't need right now. I mean, putting the Tigers back up on their heels.
Well, the defense is certainly going to have to rise up here, or Douglas County is going to have a hard task, as little as their offense has been on the field in the second half.
And they just haven't been doing it. Fumbles, just they'll get 4 or 5 yards and then they'll make a mistake like a fumble. That's really hurt their offense, especially this quarter.
Looks like the ball is going to be set just right outside the 10-yard line. Be 1st and 10. I think they can get a first down. 1st and 10 for the Chapel Hill Panthers.
It seems like in this quarter the Panthers really have gained confidence, and you can see them and they feel strong, like, hey, man, we can move this ball. We can do this. And they've been proving it.
Well, certainly the Douglas County defense has to be winded now.
There's that sweep. There's Liddell, but there's a flag.
We're going to have a hold probably. I'm thinking probably a hold or illegal shift. Once again, an illegal shift with number 12 coming around the right side.
They got an eye on him because he does have a big head start, and, man, he is flying around the outside, so you get some movement like that. It's like a seesaw. It's like being on a seesaw. Remember when you were in school as a kid? Yep. One of the bigger kids get outside on the other side of the seesaw. It's up and down.
And it's gotten to the point to where it's, which team is going to make the biggest mistake or not make a mistake.
Yeah, exactly.
Is going to be the winner.
Did you think it was going to come down to that during this game?
I didn't.
I thought it was going to be more, just grinding and out type game, and it looks like penalties are kind of taking over.
Well, Douglas County's defense held Warner Robins scoreless in that 14-0 victory. So, the defense certainly has been playing good, but they'll certainly be tested here.
Got a shotgun. Deshaun Abercrombie with a throw. That would have been a huge play.
Abercrombie dropped straight back and went for the slant across the middle. And Antonio Glover had a shot at it, and if he would have caught it, he would have been going the other direction.
He would have been all the way, too, man. That kid's fast. And he usually has pretty sure hands. I mean, he's got some sure hands.
So a big second down.
Hey, it was a good play.
Second down and 15 coming up.
Sometimes kids forget that. They go out there and they're like, man, I should have had it. It's like, no, get back in the game. Let's see if Antonio can get back in the game.
He's been pretty solid all night.
He has been. He's a good player. He seems very focused.
We got 4 receivers, 1 guy in the backfield. Quarterback drops back, scrambles over to the right side, and throws it out of bounds. Nobody was open.
Man, he was right on him. He was on him.
I think Chapel Hill is kind of wanting a roughing the quarterback penalty over on the sidelines, but I don't think they're going to get it at this point.
It's football. Come on, man.
Well, a big third down. If you get to 4th down with the success of their field goal kicker tonight, I don't know that you would actually kick her.
No, I wouldn't do it. And I think he's a little far out, for his range. And I'd have to go. I would go for it if I were the coach. But we're going to get to that point now. It's 3rd and 15. It's going to be a pass, and he's smothered. Deshaun Abercrombie didn't have a chance.
Nope, looks like Javante Kemp Davis, which is he's Douglas County's leading tackler for the season. Kind of rushed from a linebacker blitz and dropped the quarterback for a loss. To our surprise, I can tell you if I was Chapel Hill, I would put somebody on this left side.
I think so.
Because, this guy.
catch the ball and go all the way.
Yeah.
That's another block.
Blocked it again. Fall on it.
And they pick it up.
Pick it up.
Number 21 gets the ball. That's Trevin Riggins.
Well, we called it.
And there's a penalty flag.
That's going to be a horse collar penalty against Chapel Hill. That will give Douglas County 15 more yards. Well, we called it.
Yeah.
They hadn't had a lot of success with the kicking game tonight for Chapel Hill.
And that, not to tell Coach how to do his job, but, they were prepared to block another kick.
Antonio, you're flying all across this field, man. What's going on out there?
Hey, man, it's defense. Our linemen creating pressure. We got to come up, and we're making big plays. Every time we need big plays in the red zone, baby.
You have come up with 2 critical blocks. You're saving your team right now. You're up by 1 point. What's the rest of the game plan?
Offense got to run time off the clock. We need that.
All right, good game. Good luck to you. All right, back to you.
It's called the Haunting of Pebblebrook.
So, another big swing of events here. Now Douglas County has the ball 1st and 10 from the 42-yard line.
Barker.
Joseph Barker.
Yeah.
He's been the carrier here in the second half, that's for sure.
You know what? I'd stick with him. He's like, you know who he reminds me of? Remember Johnny Riggins, who used to play for the Skins?
Yeah, Washington.
Yeah. He's got that same kind of attitude, and he just plows through, low to the ground, good runner, some good moves.
I have to bring up that Joe Theismann injury. You know, that's when he broke his leg.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the worst thing I've ever seen on TV. So 2nd down and 6 for Douglas County.
And there's Barker again.
Barker straight up the middle.
Sure, why not? Keep going with him.
Yeah, you got 3 minutes and 40 seconds to
Run
go
it down.
in the 4th quarter. You know, you're driving the ball.
Don't give the kid a break. Go with Barker again.
Yeah, I'm not looking for a passing play here.
No, I would say no. That'd be a good bet.
Of course, you never know. Maybe fake it to Barker up the middle, quarterback rollout or something.
I think Xavier Parker's back.
Oh, yeah, there he is. They did fake it to him up the middle, and the quarterback kind of did a quarterback keeper to the right side. And he's going to be short of a 1st down.
Yep. Well, Devin got banged up on that one, too, but he popped up pretty quick. This is crucial right here.
Yeah, looks like we have a timeout from Chapel Hill. I think they probably have one left in the second half.
Yep. That was a good time to take a timeout because, you know, you've got 4th and 4. You're the Tigers. You got 2:56 left, and you're only a point up.
Yeah, well, this is the game. I mean,
what are you doing here? Are you running it up the middle?
Well,
you can't kick it. It's a little out of the kicker's range.
You know, you certainly can't kick a field goal. Punting the ball, if you punt in the end zone, you're only going to gain 11 yards. So you certainly can't punt the ball. And so I see no disadvantage for going for it. I mean,
and defense has been pretty good for the Tigers. I'm a little worried about some of the pass plays. I think when the Panthers, if they get the ball back, they're going to come out with a pass play right away.
Right. Well, I think they have to. They're probably going to get the ball back with 2 minutes to go, and probably won't have a lot of choice at that point. Well, they are going to go for it. We know that for sure.
I go with all reliable if I'm coach. You got Barker, Anthony Gamer's in there. He's doing a hard count, trying to get
straight
him
up the middle. Have a penalty flag.
And it's a fumble too. So it's going to be Chapel Hill ball on a fumble, but there's a penalty.
Chapel Hill did recover the fumble, so they'll get the ball back here in the 4th quarter.
I suspect there was probably a hold on that play. The hole opened up pretty quick.
Well, the back judge threw it, so it's something definitely up the middle that he saw. But I don't think that Chapel Hill knows that there's a penalty flag on the play.
Yeah, I don't think so either. And I think they're, timeout on ref, timeout, decline.
Yeah, it was an illegal shift.
Illegal shift.
They brought a player in on the sidelines late.
Okay.
And the referee caught him, obviously. So they declined that penalty, and they'll have the ball 1st and 10 from the 30-yard line. You got 2 minutes and 50 seconds to go.
And we've got a 7-6 ball game. And they're pretty evenly matched right now in this quarter, at least.
Well, I think the Douglas County defense maybe took a breather there. You know, they hadn't been off the field the whole second half, so I think this will help them.
Yeah, that's a good point. They've been on the field in the 3rd and for most of this 4th quarter.
But I look for Chapel Hill to spread it out here, throw the ball. I mean, it's go time for their offense. That's for sure.
Deshaun Abercrombie is back, and they are going to the pass.
great protection downfield. The running back snuck over to the right side. He was wide open, probably for a 20-yard gain, and
Malachi
he
Evans
just forgot something.
He saw some real estate and he forgot the ball. Yeah.
So another big play brings up 2nd and 10. And
that could have been a good play.
Yeah,
right
Chapel
there.
Hill definitely has to get a first down. They have to keep this drive going. So you throw it 3 times and get a couple of incompletes. Put you in a hole. The quarterback drops back. Is
Antonio
sacked.
Jackson just came straight up and through.
It's like a 7-yard loss on a quarterback snack. So once again, it puts them in the hole.
Yep.
They had the momentum when they gained the fumble. 2 plays. Their 3rd down and 17.
Antonio Jackson, usually you'll see him in the wide receiver position, so he's got a lot of speed, and he just came right in off tackle, and he nailed Abercrombie.
Well, if you're Chapel Hill here, you have to get a little bit of it back. I mean, it's 3rd. You're probably going to have to go for it on 4th down. It's 3rd and 17. Even if you don't make it here, you've got to get something. Quarterback rolls to the right.
Abercrombie with a great pass on the run.
Great catch.
Is that incredible?
Caught it at the 40-yard line. It's going to be a first down for Chapel Hill. And looks like Abercrombie is down.
He got shaken up. He got a good hit on him.
Quarterback rolled to the right and got loose from the defenders and just found a man open 17 yards down the field.
Beautiful play.
Great play by Chapel Hill.
And once he got flushed out of the pocket and had to roll to the right, he was looking for Liddell downfield. He knew where he was going to be, but there was a lot of pressure from the Tigers. They put some good pressure on, just a little slow getting to the quarterback.
I think the time clock now, we've got 1 minute and 45 seconds to go. It certainly comes into play for Chapel Hill.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. They're moving the ball now well after this play, but they've got a long way to go. And they have to at least get into field goal position. And do you think they want to try another field goal?
I don't think they want to have to make that decision.
Exactly.
I think they would rather have a long pass play maybe.
Yes. Still, they have a player down on the field, and it's a little hard to see from this end because the whole team, they're around their player. But he's up, and he's moving, and it's Liddell who is on the ground.
Right. Football's a funny game. Last week for Chapel Hill, it was big plays, that hurt them. It was turnovers. This week, special teams have killed them.
Yeah, that's right.
So.
Well, Liddell's up. He's off the field. Looks like he's going to be okay. He's limping off there, but, he got up. He may be out. He was pretty crucial.
It looks like Devin White replaced number 12.
Well, they need to keep this passing game going, and really, AJ was the guy to go to.
So the clock's running down to 1:30. A straight snap to the quarterback.
Up over the middle, and number 35, Keith Bradford, coming right in. No hesitation at all. He read that all the way.
Yep, they let the defensive linemen come through a little screen pass right in the middle of the field, but we had linebackers waiting for it. So
that was a good read on that play.
Got 4 receivers.
Yep.
Got offsides by someone.
I think it's going to be on the Tigers. It looked like they jumped a little.
The Tigers did jump. Let's see if he was drawn offsides or if he did it on his own. Looks like he did it on his own.
Yeah, he got excited. That's tough after a great play like that.
Yeah, that screen pass lost 8 yards. It was 2nd and 18. Now it gets them back to 2nd and 12.
And so they have a shot. They'll have to go with a pass on this play, move it up the field.
Yeah, we just got a minute to go.
Yep, they got a pass. So a little pressure on the quarterback. And who was the new guy that came in? It was number 15, Akil Shaw.
Yep, it just went straight through his hands.
Right through his hands. He doesn't have the hands of Liddell tonight, at least on that play. But
I think with 53 seconds to go, that was just a little 5-yard down and out.
Right. Was that Torrey? That was Torrey Slater. I'm sorry.
With 53 seconds to go, I think you've got to go a little more downfield. I mean, they're on the 40-yard line.
They have to get in some kind of scoring position.
Oh, absolutely. So we got a 4-receiver set.
There's Devin White. He's new to the game there. I didn't see him before.
Oh, he threw it up.
Pass to the right. Oh, yeah, that was a Hail Mary. That was like, hey, somebody catch this thing.
You know, now this is the ball game. It puts them in a 4th down, 12 situation. You got 40 seconds to go.
And it looks like if the Tigers can hold them and, don't do anything crazy right here, you're going to have a 7-6 victory. This is going to be a big win.
Yeah, certainly the crowd here at Tiger Stadium, they're trying to cheer on another victory over Chapel Hill.
But not without a little competition from the Panthers. They really put on a good show, and it's come down to all the little mistakes, the penalties.
Big pass rush.
This is going to be a run from Abercrombie. He's going to get the first down and go out of bounds. That was
smart play.
That was a great play.
Smart play. He got the first down. He got out of bounds at 40 seconds to go. Puts his team in another first down situation.
That was a heads-up play by the quarterback. He didn't see any of the receivers open. Tigers were flushing him out of the pocket. He ran, found a place to go, and got to the sidelines and knew exactly how much yardage he needed to get that first down.
Got a 4-receiver set once again for Chapel Hill.
4 fresh ones, just like a daisy.
Quarterback drop. Oh! The ball went through the hands of A.J. Liddell and almost intercepted by Douglas County.
And it was Antonio Glover again. He's having some trouble keeping a hold of that ball tonight. That's the second time for him.
Right.
But he was right there on the coverage, so he intimidated Liddell.
35 seconds to go. Going to bring up a 2nd and 10. Thing you have to watch for here is if you throw a pass and they tackle you. I don't know how many timeouts that Chapel Hill has.
They may have used up all their timeouts.
If a guy gets on the ground, you're going to burn 15 seconds. They can't afford to do that. You got to be thrown to the sidelines. Oh, great rush.
Smash! Look at that. Number 6 comes busting in.
Brandon Bostic came straight up the middle and sacked the quarterback.
You sure his name isn't Bostic? Because, man, he
busted.
Flew.
Bostic busted.
And there's the clock. They're going to have to.
Yeah, he's got 14 seconds to go, and they have to ground the ball. I mean, that's a killer. So Chapel Hill's looking at a 3rd and about 17.
Oh, it's 4th and 17.
Oh, 4th.
Now. So that's it. There's one throw, and you're done.
4th and 17. And, you can't really scramble that quarterback out like he did last time because you're going to burn up 14 seconds.
Exactly. So he's going to have to.
He's going to have to throw it.
Come out of the shotgun, and it's going to have to be.
Yeah, he can't scramble.
No, it's going to be down the sideline. His receivers have to be all the way down that sideline.
I say a Hail
Number
Mary.
2, wide receiver, wide open. And a flag's down. Sparkles didn't see the wide receiver come all the way over to the left. That was number 2, Devin White, coming out.
This is going to be a penalty on Douglas County.
Oh, and that's a killer.
Looks like encroachment.
Now look at number 2. He's now being covered by Caleb Clemens, but he had nobody covering him on that last play.
I think it was number 2's man, and Sparkles had to come over and cover him because nobody was there.
This is going to be the last play of the game. Abercrombie's back.
Good
pressure.
Rush. That's it.
Great pressure from Javonte Kemp Davis. He's been spectacular all night long.
We rushed, Douglas County rushed 4 players. One of them got to him right as he released the ball, and that's your ball game.
That's it. 7-6. You're going to have a 2-2 team. Douglas County Tigers
more importantly, I think you have an 0-4 team with Chapel Hill, a team that had made the state playoffs the last 2 years.
And a team that could have won this game.
Absolutely. Had 3 opportunities to win the game.
And it comes down to those mental mistakes and the penalties. And they're probably going to go back home. It's going to be a little bit longer drive than the 10 miles or so.
Yeah, not a long drive across I-20 down Chapel Hill Road, but
no, it's going to take it's going to feel like it's an eternity.
Yeah. Well, I think Chris Parker will be disappointed.
I think so, because the team could have won tonight. Yeah. I mean, either team could have won. Obviously, the Tigers did a better job containing the Panthers, and they blocked a couple of field goals, and that was the game right there. Think about it: if those field goals were hit, the Panthers were going to be victorious.
Yeah. It was a great game, defensive game. Wasn't a lot of offense tonight, but certainly a great county rivalry, a region game.
Yep.
Now Douglas County, they've upset Warner Robins on the road. They beat Chapel Hill to give them their first sub-region win, and I would say that Coach Oglesby would be pretty happy tonight.
He'll be a happy man. You got a couple of good wins under your belt, and it could be the turning point for their season. They were without Brandon tonight, and we'll have to see how long that maybe there's something a little more serious. Hopefully he'll be back for the next game.
Yeah, now I would think after the second half, after the second quarter, I should say, that Packer had running the ball, and we didn't see him the second half. So I'm thinking they probably got 2 injured running backs for Douglas County.
Sure.
So.
And Barker really did a spectacular job because he had to carry a lot of the weight, with the couple of the star running backs out for the Tigers. But it wasn't a 100-plus yard night for the running backs here tonight.
I'm here with Coach Oglesby. Coach, hard-fought game tonight. What were the keys to the victory?
Well, obviously our defense held the night, Stopped them several times. When they had chances, we come up with big plays on defense. Yeah. Then Antonio Glover blocking three field goals, extra points,
Yeah, I talked to him earlier. I told him he was all over the field.
Yeah, it was awesome. I hadn't seen anything like that before.
Yeah,
so.
You got to be impressed with that senior leadership.
Right. Yeah, they stepped up tonight.
Yeah, they did.
They stepped up.
Couple of miscues, couple of turnovers. What do we need to do to prepare for Villa Rica?
Well, obviously Villarica's top of our side, picked to win our side. So it's a tough road to hoe. We're going to have to regroup after this win, and get focused and just work on our mistakes.
All right, that's an away game. Good luck to you, Coach.
Appreciate it.
Back to you.
So I think both county teams are represented well here
Well,
tonight.
I don't think they're a bad team. I don't think Chapel Hill's a bad team. I think that they have a very good team. It just, silly mistakes. A lot of penalties that really hurt them. They have to work out somehow with their kicker. He's got a good leg. It just, they let people through to block, critical field goals.
Absolutely.
And an extra point. And that extra point not going through the goalpost, man, that killed them tonight because it would have been a different ball game.
Yep. Well, I think that's going to do it from Tiger Stadium here in Douglasville, Georgia. Once again, Douglas County Tigers were victorious 7-6 over the Chapel Hill Panthers.
Excellent. We want to thank you very much for watching City TV and a great rivalry game against the hometown Douglas County Tigers and, of course, what are the other guys?
That would be the Chapel Hill Panthers.
Yeah, and they did a great job, too. For Bennett Oliver, I'm Jonathan.